Last week was a really bad week for the Republican Party. I mean, between Donald Trump's tariffs and the election snafus on Tuesday, and I say snafus because they didn't lose all of them, but they didn't win any of them by the margins that had originally been predicted. In fact, I want to point this out because I brought this up for years. My entire district is made up of several different counties, and one of those counties, Escambia County in my district, went blue for the first time in decades. In decades! Part of that district went blue. It has been solid red since 1964. That is remarkable, and honestly, it is not something I ever thought I'd see happen. But it did. There is a shift, and holy hell, it is the most exciting thing I've ever reported on. But the Republicans still won in what you could possibly even call a landslide because the district is still overwhelmingly red. Same thing with the race with Josh Weil in Florida. He unfortunately did not win, but he did not lose by the 30 points that Donald Trump had carried that district by. So pretty remarkable. Then, of course, the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. But all of those were warning bells for the Republican Party. And then immediately following those warning bells was Donald Trump's imposition of new tariffs, which then sent the economy, the stock market, into a death spiral. So Republicans are now freaking out, both Republican insiders and members of Congress, because they understand that even though we're 18 months out from the 2026 midterms, they're already telling us the writing's on the wall. And the Republican Party is about to suffer an electoral bloodbath if they stay on this path for 2026. Let me read you this. This is from a report from Politico. The Republican anxiety comes in the wake of a landslide defeat in a Wisconsin Supreme Court race and double-digit underperformance in 2 Florida special elections. Both reverberated across the party on Wednesday as some Republican elected officials and strategists called for Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk to adopt a more cautious approach to governing. Okay, well, that's not going to happen. But then you had former GOP strategist Brian Reisinger who said, quote, "This is a clear sign, as you're going to get, ringing like a bell, that they have to talk about addressing economic frustration and they have to show they have a plan for it. There's a lot of support in these communities for getting tough on trade, for cutting government spending, but if tariffs spin out of control, they have, and there's no results on trade deals, there's not, then rural communities are really going to be hit hard." Whit Aries, a longtime GOP pollster, said, "Elon Musk is hurting Donald Trump. There's no question about that. Republicans should take his money and tell him to go to Mars." That's not a bad idea. But then Republican Senator Tom Tillis said this to Politico. He warned that his party must be smart and measured, or otherwise be prepared to face backlash at the polls. "What we don't want to do is overreach. We've got to be careful not to do the same thing, and I think that these elections are going to be proxies or almost like weather devices for figuring out what kind of storm we're going to be up against next year." Weather devices. If only they had names, right? The political barometer is that you guys are going to get your asses handed to you because you deserve it. For years now, and I've been talking about it the entire time, the Republican Party has not delivered a single thing for the working class of the United States of America. Not one. I mean, genuinely, literally, you cannot point to a single Republican accomplishment that actually helped somebody not in the wealthy elite. They simply don't know how to do it anymore. They've been pushing the same failed policies since Ronald Reagan was sworn in 1981. They didn't work in the 80s. They didn't work in the early 90s. They didn't work in the early 2000s. They didn't work in the 2010s, and they're not going to work in the 2020s. You've tried it a million times, and you have failed every single time. In fact, you've caused a recession every single time. And the public, although they may have forgotten that in the November election, they're starting to see it again. And they're remembering more and more. And hopefully other people also pick up on this message that it's not just this time That's what we have to remind people. It's not just right now. This isn't the first time they've done it. This isn't the first time Trump has done it. It's not the second time that it's been done this century. Republicans do this every time. Same policies, same results, and y'all sit there and wait for the Democrats to come back to office to save your asses again. And we do, and then you vote us out because we didn't fix it fast enough. Well, we'll repeat the same cycle. We'll bail you out again, and then you'll probably turn your backs on us once again 4 years, 8 years down the road, whatever it is, until you realize you made a big mistake again, and the cycle will just repeat for, I guess, all of eternity. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.